Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to FHCA's webinar, Get Outside the Box, Creative Strategies to Attract More Applicants. I'm Kristen Knapp, Senior Director of Strategy and Communications for Florida Healthcare Association. And joining me on the panel today is Katie Spillman, Director, Sarah Maltra, Director of Paid Media, and Darcy Tofolo, Executive Managing Director, all with the More Agency. Before we get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping items to help our program run smoothly for you. I want to remind everyone that you're all muted due to the large number of participants. We encourage you to use the computer audio rather than the telephone so that we maintain quality for today's presentation. And then we want to encourage you to use to ask questions throughout the presentation by typing them into this question box. So the slide you see now shows you how to use the question box if you have questions to ask, and feel free to ask those throughout. This webinar is being recorded and an online archive will be available on the FHCA website along with additional handout materials. And if you have someone unable to join us, please encourage them to view the recorded webinar. So some of the resources that you're going to hear today are all part of Florida Healthcare Association's Caregivers Florida Career Program, and those are really geared towards our participating providers. That was the CMS funded grant we received last summer that we're doing in partnership with the State of Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration. If you are not participating with this program, you want to make sure you sign up. You can see the slide here. Our goal is to recruit 3,000 CNAs over a 2-year period. We're doing that through recruitment, through a statewide media campaign, connections with CNA training facilities, working to attract new job seekers. And then we have retention activities with employee engagement and satisfaction survey, and educational opportunities through the webinars like today's webinar. And then we've also enhanced the Florida Care for the Aging website, which is where job seekers through our advertising campaign are being directed to try to get connected with our providers who are participating with us. Let's see. So let me go back real quick. If you're not already signed up, this is how you can sign up on that Florida Care for the Aging website. You can go to the employer page and sign up, or you can email me or Jen Zilkowski, who her team is our project leader, and the email there is listed on the screen. Okay, so let's get started. So part of today's program, we want to talk about strategies to attract more applicants. But I think before we get into that, I think it's important to kind of look introspectively at what your employees are already saying. So part of the Caregivers Florida program, we did a satisfaction survey where we asked your employees, basically some questions, and you can see some of the responses here. And I think the overwhelming response is that your employees want to feel valued, and they want to be supported, and communication is really key. So this is just some highlights. 50% expressed satisfaction, 40% said their leaders demonstrated that the employees are important to the success of the facility. 68% they have the training to do their job effectively. 34% said there's opportunity for professional growth. So et cetera. So I think that is important to show, we're kind of doing a pretty good, sort of a C average job on this. But if we're looking to recruit new applicants, these are the things that they're going to be looking for. So let's make sure, and it's important to recognize that, for them to be successful, for new employees to be attracted to your organization, we're going to need to make sure we have the tools to help them succeed. Okay, so again, that's what your employees currently are saying. So what are you offering? Things that we've learned from employees that we've talked to, or job seekers that we've talked to, that's important to them. And I think you're just seeing that in a post-COVID environment, that individuals are really looking for flexibility in their careers. I think that's one thing in our profession. We're used to those traditional 7 to 3, 3 to 11 to 7 shifts, but people are looking for flexibility. They have families. They want to have, people learned during COVID, they want to have a life outside of their job. So they want that flexibility in their career. They want learning opportunities. They want an opportunity for professional development and professional growth, really a career ladder, a career track, not just a job. The culture of the organization is really important to individuals. They want to know, what kind of organization am I going to be a part of? A team? Am I going to be a part of a place that's actively engaged and involved with my community? And they want recognition. And what's interesting is that today, the employees of today, the younger generations, they want to feel valued. They like being recognized publicly. They like being recognized on social media. That's really important to today's employees. So these are things that you need to think about as you're starting your recruitment campaigns, is that what are you doing? What are you offering that's setting you apart? And I think a lot of today's younger generations are looking for meaningful work, which, that's certainly something that in long-term care that we offer, that you offer, is, giving people an opportunity to give back and to help someone else while they're helping themselves in their career development. Okay, so let's talk about developing your recruitment strategy. So, I think one of the first and foremost things that's important is identifying your brand. So I put a couple of things up here, some of our members, who you are and how you define yourself as a brand is really important, I think, to someone who's looking to, looking to start their career. Especially younger people today, when they're looking for jobs and they're looking at companies that are listing job openings, they're going to social media to look at those social media sites, look at Facebook, look at Instagram, look at Twitter to see, first of all, do you have a presence on those social media channels, LinkedIn? What does your website look like? Do you have information that's more than just the basic, what you do? But how does this define you as a company? I think, Palm Garden, I put their example up here, celebrating life stories has been their motto. That's their brand. If you go onto their Facebook page, you can see that they are all about recognizing their employees all the time. And a lot of our members are doing that. If you're on social media, if your facility, your organization has a social media presence, look at those opportunities like National Nurses Week, National Nursing Home Week, National Nursing Assistants Week, Therapists Week, and recognize your employees, because when people search for you on social, they see that and they see, wow, they value their people at this place. This is a place I want to work. Use your experts. You all have experts in your organizations. This is MedBest, Julie. Now, granted, we all know Julie, she's in the recruiting business, but she had one of her interns do a blog post. You've got great people. I got an email today from an activities director who said, I love taking pictures and I love telling the stories about my residents. So anytime you want something, please ask me. That's a great spokesperson for your organization who can share the stories of what your culture is and what your organization, what your facility does. So use those. That's all part of your brand that you're defining, which when job seekers are looking, that's what they're looking for. Okay, my slides are acting wonky here. Okay, here we go. So you want to make sure you take a multi-channel approach. Okay, so for example, we talked about on social. Are you using Facebook? Are you using LinkedIn? Are you using Twitter? Are you using Instagram? These are different channels that different job seekers are going to be attracted to. Your nursing professionals maybe, and your more professional positions may be more inclined to be looking for you on LinkedIn. You might have your CNAs looking on Instagram, looking on Facebook. So you need to determine what jobs you have open and find the right channels for you. And there are tools, and I know, we've talked about this in the past. There are different tools that can help you with scheduling your social media. Our team is going to talk about that a little bit later in the session. So it may seem overwhelming, but the reality is your job seekers are out there, your employees are out there using all these different social media channels. So, embrace them and, get into the game and take an opportunity to make yourself available on these channels. So I think everybody by now, all of our facilities have websites, but what are you doing with that website? Have you enhanced your web presence? Do you have a dedicated career site where you can post job openings and talk about the different opportunities that you have for applicants? Or can you just even expand out your existing website with a page or two that talks about what it's like to join your team and the opportunities that you have available? People are searching the web. That's the reality. Nobody's looking in the printed newspaper anymore for job openings. So you've got to have a digital presence. And now, with WordPress, there's different resources and different tools that are out there. Websites are not as expensive and not as difficult to manage as they used to be. There's a lot more tools that are available to help you with, putting these sites together and managing them in a system that, look, if you can type in Microsoft Word, you can work in WordPress. So there's a lot of resources that are out there to you. Okay, so a couple other strategies. I think one thing that I've learned, and Florida Healthcare Association, where I work, is a good example. Our best employees have come from our coworkers bringing them to FHCA. Employee referrals, I think, those are the people that they know your culture, they know the leadership, and they can be your best cheerleaders, and they can be great assets to help you with finding new people. So, this is an example of an employee referral campaign that one of our organizations did last year, where they gave away a car to the employee who referred the most number of employees. They did a whole big YouTube video. It was super cool. It actually went to a CNA. But employee referral campaigns, give cash, give gift cards. People want to work with like people. So, these are your employees that are out there in their communities. They're out there, going to church or synagogue, talking to people. Let them be your cheerleaders and give them incentives to bring new people to the table. Obviously, job boards, it's a great way. There's a lot of different resources out there. We just revised our FHCA job board. Make sure you take advantage and post job openings there. Your local career source can help you with posting job openings. Employ Florida can help you with getting your jobs out there to their potential applicants. Also reach out to past employees. There may be an opportunity that people may want to come back. Recruit at your high schools. I met some great CNAs during Lobby Wednesdays who have been now 5+ years working at their facility, because their administrator came to their CNA training class and spoke to them, invited them to come in and do clinicals at the facility. And now it's a feeder system for his facility. And in fact, he went back, he did a job, he taught them how to do mock job interviews and became a mentor, and really built those relationships. So if you've got high schools in your area or technical colleges that are doing CNA training schools, make yourself available to them as a resource. Take part, if you have chamber organizations, community organizations, Rotaries, go and speak, make yourself available as a subject matter expert, because you just never know where there's opportunities may come up. Okay, so how are we helping? Here's what I want to talk about a little bit, some of the things that we're offering you to help. I mentioned the job board. We also have community partnerships that we're working to build on your behalf with CareerSource. We've had probably about 12 meetings with your local CareerSource organizations to learn about the different funding and training opportunities they have for new and existing employees. Again, they'll help you with posting your vacancies. They'll help you with organizing job fairs. They will take your information and send it to their job seekers. And all of those resources are free. They do that all for free. So one of the things that we're going to be doing after our FHCA elections in August is we're going to be connecting our district officers with the local career source resource folks and invite them to come and speak at your district meeting so that our Florida healthcare members, if you're not already utilizing the career source resources, you can learn more about how you can do that. A lot of them have funding opportunities. A lot of them have, you know, again, just free resources and free help that they can assist you with. And then we're also going to be working on doing outreach to the high schools, community and technical colleges as part of the Caregivers Florida Career Program. So again, you know, developing those mentorship programs, you know, serving as a clinical site, that's a great resource to you because they're looking for people to help them get their CNAs in training, a place where they can do that hands-on experience. And that, oh, holy moly, sorry. And then we've got the job board, careers.fhca.org. Make sure you're posting your jobs on our FHCA job board, all the advertising that we do, the marketing that we do through our different social media campaigns gets driven to the job board. And then the Florida Care for the Aging website. So when we have part of this grant is really a robust statewide advertising campaign that we're doing that we launched in early March. And what that does is it's driving those job seekers to the Florida Care for the Aging site. They're filling out a profile and they have an opportunity to see our participating providers, to see their job openings, and then we are connecting them to those providers. So Jennifer Zilkowski, who's our project leader, she is sending a list of those people to our participating providers saying, hey, you know, here's people that contacted us in your area. Some may be CNAs that are already certified. Some may be good for the personal care attendant program, so that you can get them started in the building. So that's a great resource, and that's something that we're offering through this grant. And then just a quick, before I turn it over to Katie, these are some of the ads that we're running, and you're going to learn more later on in this program how you can take advantage of these ads that the MORE team created. But you know, you can see things that we're doing here through you know, advertising on social. We're doing an email marketing campaign, lots of free resources, toolkits for the employers, and then you know, a lot we're doing with earned media through op-eds and such. So I'm going to turn the program over to Katie now and let her talk about some of these resources and how you can take advantage of this. So Katie, turn it to you.
Thank you, Kristen. Good afternoon, everyone. So we wanted to thank you for defining owned, earned, and paid media as well, because it's important to know the differences between all of those and how that communications ecosystem is working together in order to see results for this entire campaign. So we want to cover 4 items moving forward here. We'll share a deep dive of our toolkit that we've created for all of you. We'll also share the additional ways that you're going to want to maximize some of these assets. And then we'll move into our Magenta Studios training led by Darcy. And finally, we'll close with some questions. So let me see if my advanced tool works here. So we've created, as I said, this 20-page toolkit for you. These materials are completely free and designed to help you enhance and support your own talent recruitment and workforce education messages. So you've got things like social media, assets that you can download, images, graphics that you can download, as well as plug and play copy that you can literally copy and paste and drop into your social media profiles. So the first section of the toolkit is really about the program. So we're all singing the same song sheet when someone asks you what it is, and we all use the same verbiage and messaging about it. And then we'll talk about how to use it and how the branded assets are available to you. So again, for social media, I want you to download all the assets inside this toolkit, update your social media cover photos with images, post regularly on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We have sample posts, like I said, and make it personal. So share your passion and your personal stories. Your employees are your best asset, like Kristen said. So these are folks at the ready that, you know, have a passion about telling the story about the CNA. And, we've seen this firsthand in the past couple weeks when we've done our interviews with some CNAs that we are using to draft opinion editorials for exclusive outlets like the Orlando Sentinel, for example. And when you just simply ask the question, what do you love most about your job? I mean, the passion just came through there and the article wrote itself. It was really just so, kind of moving to hear how they feel about their job and why it's so important to recruit more talent. So moving on, we've got a lot of brand assets in here for you. Logo files, we've got flyers like you see here. We have ready-made email copy, ready-made newsletter copy, ready-made social media posts. We've done the work for you here. A couple of tips there at the bottom that you'll be able to read better when you open up the document itself, but we just wanted to show you a little sampling of some of the assets in there for you. We also made a brand video that you will have access to, so you can share that out on all of your platforms. And finally, everything within this toolkit uses original photography that we took at Palm Gardens in Gainesville. So these photos are 100% accurate and authentic to what to expect when you're recruiting, these job seekers. They'll be able to see exactly what it's like in the environment. So let's talk about elevating your outreach. Now that we know the definitions of paid, earned, and owned media, let's look at social media in particular, which falls under the owned media bucket when we're not paying for anything specifically. So your organic social media content should support this 80-20 rule. So 80% of your content should be informative, entertaining, and educational. So you only want about 20% of your content to be promotional. So you really kind of want to avoid any of your social content looking and sounding like an ad if it's not a paid advertising placement. Second, don't chase trends, add value. Our consumers and our job seekers are really smart, and they can kind of see through anything that is just jumping on a trend. So for example here, during Pride Month, showing a product that has a rainbow on it is, not necessarily adding any value to the conversation there. Customers expect value by making genuine commitments and providing real impact, maybe, getting involved in a certain program within your community. So the bottom line here is don't just jump on a trend. Think about how you can really add value to what it is that you're talking about and what is aligning with your brand in particular. You want to be culturally relevant and sensitive. You want something that is going to actually stop the scroll from happening, something that's pretty eye-catching. That's why images are so important to use across every social channel. You want to aim for content that ignites a conversation and a learning moment for folks. And you also want to design content that reinforces your entire brand purpose. So a couple of step-by-step instructions here to help you really plan for your social media content planning. Maybe it's you, maybe it's a teammate, maybe you have an intern that helps you with this. Either way, there's a few steps that you want to keep in mind. Planning is extremely key. So we always recommend that you carve out some time, put it on your calendar to sit down and really plan out the milestones and the things that you want to make sure get posted on your social media platforms. Outline this in a weekly or monthly way with priorities for your organization. So we always, whenever we're doing social media content planning for a client, we will create what's called an observance calendar. And so that just really puts pen to paper when it comes to Mother's Day or CNA week or, a seasonal tie-in that you can make sure has an authentic tie with your brand. So for example, if it's Mother's Day, posting Happy Mother's Day and a graphic is fine, but what would be even better is telling the story about, one of your CNAs who's also a mother who's so passionate about her job, and this is why we want to spotlight her today. Thanks, moms. So, just thinking outside the box, just like the title of this whole program today, be thinking of ways that you can stay creative there. So once you're planning and outlining, then and only then do you start to draft your content and thinking about what images you'll use, if there's video, if you're pulling from a different article or blog, etc. And then you want to make sure you proof and proof again. Review everything for spelling errors, double check, make sure your links work properly. And then monitor for engagement opportunities. So making sure that you're keeping up with that on a daily basis. If someone comments on your post, make sure you're going in and liking and engaging and commenting back so that you can keep that algorithm on the platform really fresh and it continues to get more eyeballs on it. We have a couple of best practices for certain platforms here too. I'm going to go quickly through these. Sharing is caring on Facebook. So don't forget to tag whoever it is. If it is a third party, we want to make sure we're giving credit. Research shows 40 characters or less is actually getting more engagement on Facebook. So making sure it's short and sweet. I've also pointed out a tool called Canva in this next bullet where you can actually create your own graphic. So if you wanted to go ahead and make a quote stand out in a graphic, you can do that really easily. It's a free tool. You can pay to upgrade, but you can access a free version of it and use it to your liking there. With Facebook, you don't want to over inundate folks with too many posts. Once a day is absolutely plenty, maybe even less than that throughout the week. And making sure you're using images, which of course we want to use on all of our platforms. Twitter's a little bit different. I like to think about this as a almost a mini radio station. So if you listen to the radio 12 hours a day, you're probably going to hear repeat things. And that's kind of what Twitter is like as well. So if you have a message that you want to put out a couple times throughout the week, that's totally fine to do. It's definitely more active posting is okay on Twitter when compared to Facebook. You want to rein that in a little bit more. And of course, using images. You also want to shorten your links. So I put a bit.ly bullet in there so you can use that tool as an easy platform to shorten your character count, as well as take a look at reporting metrics. And LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, we know that this is the professional social network. So this is extremely important right now for the conversation that we're having. And we want to make sure that our content is really rich, that we use snappy headlines. In the morning is typically a really good time to post to get high engagement. You want to use clickable content and be really visual here. And thinking about your audience is always important when it comes to any platform, but particularly on LinkedIn. Think about who's following you and what type of content they're going to be most excited to read or see about your organization. This is also a great platform to talk about industry events. If you're going to a conference or if you are, taking a lot of photos and you want to pair it with, content about the event just for promotion and ongoing engagement that recaps it in the weeks to follow. This is a great platform to do that. And making sure that you're posting content with that career angle in LinkedIn is so important. So as a takeaway from today's presentation, we also have a few bonus assets that I will be presenting to you, and you can find in the resources section of your Provital Portal once you sign up to be part of the Caregivers Florida Career Program. One is a LinkedIn tip sheet that I have just a quick screenshot of here. So this will give you all the tools and tricks to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is polished and maximized. And we're also going to be presenting you with a social media content calendar template. So this includes tabs for scheduling, a monthly planning calendar, a content repository. You'll likely find use out of the monthly planning calendar tab the most, which I've included the screenshot here. And it really helps if you have a couple people working on this at once to all stay organized and making sure your milestones and your observances are captured in one place for everyone. So I will stop there, and Sarah is going to jump into some paid media bullets for us. And Sarah, I'll keep advancing for you.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. It's great to meet with you all today. So as Katie just talked about, we have all this great social media content we can have, right? But what is a good way to really boost and get that organic owned media out there. And a really great way, an easy way to do that is boost a post through Facebook or Instagram. And basically a Facebook boosted post is a type of paid advertisement on Facebook that just promotes an existing post from a business page. This will help amplify the reach of your content to a wider range of an audience. So you can actually choose, and we'll get into that a little bit more of who you want to boost this post to, but it's a good way to put some paid dollars behind your own content and just get some more eyeballs on it. So the boosted posts, you get a lot of really great results for the small fee. You get guaranteed visibility. There's so much going on Facebook and feeds and the way that the algorithm shows things to people. So this is a way to really get some guaranteed visibility and make sure there's a higher chance of some engagement. And as I said in the second bullet, you get a lot more increased engagement when you're boosting a post because you have those dollars and it's getting more eyeballs. You also have the opportunity to expose to a new audience. So a lot of times when when you post your organic content, it's only being seen by followers. But when you boost a post, you can choose who you're targeting your post to. So you could do people who look like those that follow your page, or boost to specific demographics and areas if there's certain areas you'd like to hit, just to get that content out there into new eyeballs and maybe get some new followers, new engagement, etc. And it also ensures that your content is seen by the right people. That's just more of like being able to choose who your audience really is. When you have the owned media and you post to your Facebook, you can't really control who sees that. But when you are boosting posts and putting some dollars behind it, Facebook gives you a lot more control. So this is, I'm not going to bore you with the step-by-step, but this is basically just some step-by-step instructions on how you do boost a post. You essentially go to the page, you find the post, there's a little button that says boost post. And then from there, you can choose your budget, the duration, where you want to hit, whether you want to be on Facebook, Instagram, both of them, just certain, whether you just want to be on Reels or stories, you have all that customizable availability there. And what to consider when boosting a post is you want to have a really clear goal. The first thing they're going to ask you is, what do you want? Do you want video plays? Do you want people to go to your website? And so based on what you select as your initial goal, the machine learning that Facebook has in place will really drive how the Facebook post is boosted. So really you want to have a clear goal of like, what are you trying to do with this post? And you also want to boost the right post. A good rule of thumb is an organic post that you did that's already doing well. If people are already engaging with it well, you might as well put some boosted dollars behind that and continue that momentum. And you want to set a reasonable duration. Typically, we will recommend a run about a week to 10 days with a boosted post. Maybe take some time, look at how people responded to it. If you want to boost the same message, I would encourage maybe doing a new image or changing up the text a little bit, because we don't want our audiences to get ad fatigue and just scroll right past it because they've seen it before. Yeah, so that's basically it. If you have any questions about how you can put some paid dollars behind social media posts, just let us know in the comments and happy to answer.
Wonderful. Katie, you ready for me to take it away?
Ready.
Okay, before I do, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Darcy Taffalo. I want to just underscore for a minute Kristen's message of the importance of social media. We are in the thick of quarterly reporting right now for the advertising campaigns that we're running. And the headline is that our audience is on social media. They are using platforms like Facebook and Instagram to get information about the program. They're clicking through to the site and they're submitting information, asking for more information. So this audience is not only there, but they're engaged. So anything that Sarah just shared, of course, we're here as support and follow-up. Really encourage you to really consider boosting for any organic post that you're creating. Okay, so Magenta Studio training. So thank you so much, Katie, for your willingness to advance the slides.
Sure.
So what is Magenta Studio? So Magenta Studio was born out of a need identified by one of our clients last year to really give partners like you, providers like you, the ability to simply go in and customize a material, whether it's a brochure, whether it's a social ad or an email. This tool, which Moore concepted and launched last year, gives providers that kind of one-stop shop and also the ability to just go in themselves at any time, customize a material and download it. And so what I want to spend the next few minutes here today talking through is a little bit of the how-to, and then we're actually going to go live to Magenta Studio, which is a web-based platform. And really, I'll show you how to go ahead and customize materials. Okay, Katie, you can go one more, please. Thank you. And this is a quick start guide that we'll be sharing with you following the meeting. Okay, so step one, log in. So this is a user specific platform, and it's an incredibly easy login interface. And so at some point later this week, we'll be gathering your email addresses, and starting next week, we will be deploying an email to you, and Kristen will certainly give you the heads up when this happens, and you'll be getting an email invitation direct to your inbox. Now, sometimes it goes into other, if you're on Outlook. It doesn't typically go to junk, but you definitely want to keep an eye out for an email that says Magenta Studio by Moore. From there, you can go in and very quickly set up your account with an email password, and then just click login. Step two is viewing materials. So what you see here is a screen grab of an environment I'm going to show you in just a minute. But what we've done is we have uploaded all the materials that are available to you to use at your disposal into Magenta Studio. And so I'll show you how to filter as well, which I believe is step three. And so you have the ability in this platform to choose what type of material you're looking to customize. By the way, if you want to just download it, you can do that too. You don't have to customize. But we have created these nice filters to make it incredibly easy for you to locate the material you're looking to customize. So you can go ahead and select, say, brochure. And then for step four, you have 4 customization opportunities. So 4 different ways that you can customize. Now, the one that I want to focus us on today is adding a new fixed image. So the third plank down. And I'll talk through exactly how this works, but essentially we'll be gathering all of your logos, all of your provider logos, and loading them in as assets within Magenta Studio. You'll then be able to open this material and add a new fixed image, which is essentially your logo, add it, and then save it, and then download it. So it's kind of a 1, 2, 3 process, and it's pretty turnkey. So you have a few different opportunities here to kind of customize and play with image and text. I'll also show when I go live how you can incorporate text. Although I think for right now, for the campaign materials we have up, it's really, as I mentioned, the opportunity to add a logo. But this platform does make it incredibly easy for you to add text and actually customize it. And we actually already have the font designated as Arial. So it's incredibly turnkey for you to go in and do. And you can see here with the image, you can center it within the page, so you don't have to kind of eyeball it. And you can also center it within the box itself, within the logo box itself. And then text, as I mentioned, is the opportunity to customize and create your own copy or text. For example, if you have a name or phone number that you want people to contact, you can add that to the bottom of your brochure. Incredibly easy. And download it, check it. You know, if you're like me, you might have to do it a few times to get it right. But at the end of the day, it's ready to go. So step 5, you want to go ahead and save. And any of us who were born in the 70s know what this little icon means, the little disc here. But once you've customized your material, you can see here, I created a little test screen. You want to hit the disc save. It will take you back out to the materials environment. And then from there, you'll go ahead and download. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. So I think, Katie, yes, then there is the download. So, and again, it downloads right into your folder on your desktop. Now, before I go live with Magenta Studio, a couple FAQs I want to just quickly touch on. The first is, Katie, if you don't mind going forward one, sorry. So what happens if there's more than one user customizing a material? We have not seen this happen, team, but unfortunately, if someone's in there doing that, customizing, and they logged in before you, you might find that you can't customize it just yet. You'll have to give it maybe 15 minutes and then go back in. But again, this is not an issue that we've come across. If you forget your password, or if you don't accept the invitation by more, within, I believe it's 48 hours, you can go in and just quickly ask for a password reset. And we can help manage that certainly, but you don't need to rely on Kristen or an IT department to reset a password. It's all done within the tool itself. Now, the third question is super tactical, but we have had it come up. When we're adding a logo to a material, there's a little gray area that shows up around the logo. And that's really just to show the space that you have to work with. When you go ahead and download it, that gray area will not print or show up within the material itself. And one final note, for things like brochures or print ready materials, you will see there are actually cross hash marks for a printer. For any social ad or post, those are ready to go. So you can save those off and go ahead and create your post directly within Facebook or Instagram without having to do a thing. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to share my screen, and we'll see. My track record on doing it straight away is not awesome. So let's just try. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is a lot of magenta, which is why we branded it Magenta Studio, but you'll see this is an exhaustive list of all of the campaign materials that we have developed for this program. And this is the very first screen that you will arrive at once you've logged in. So I want to just, and I don't know with Zoom, I've only done this training on Teams, but Katie, if you could be my Vanna, please, let me know, can you see me filtering here on type? Are you able to see me?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. No, we're going to do this on Zoom from now on. So here's the beautiful thing, team, is you can filter on type. So you see here, brochure, digital, email, etc. You can also filter on messaging. So once you kind of get in here, you'll see we have 3 different messaging types: hire, train, partner. You can go ahead and filter on that. But what I'm going to do for purposes of training today is I'm actually going to go ahead and filter on brochure. Okay. And what you see here is we've got, let me just move my Zoom here. I've got to move myself over here. Sorry. Let me move you all down. Okay. So what you see here is the list of all brochures that are in here. Now, extra credit for anyone who knows what these 3 dots on the right are called from a web perspective. They're actually called a shish kebab, which I just love. So to customize a material, what you want to do is you go over here to your shish kebab, and who doesn't want to do that? And you want to go ahead and customize material. Okay, so it's going to load the brochure here. Okay, and then from there, you want to go over here to the plus sign. That's to add an asset. And so you go to plus, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new fixed image. Now, you might be asking, what is open image? If you have another logo that you want to add in or something, you can certainly do that. We're here, though, to load these images in as fixed assets that you can go and reference. So for purposes of discussion today, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, you'll see we have a couple of logos in here just for purposes of demonstration today. But as I mentioned, we'll be working hard to gather all of your logos, which, by the way, you will be able to filter up here on the upper left. So you won't have to wade through all these different logos. We'll have the names attached to the filter feature here. But let's just go ahead and select caregivers FL, and you go up here to select. Okay, now here's that gray area I was telling you all about. Try not to panic. And we're just going to go ahead and, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to just move this all the way down. And we're just going to, for yucks, just put it right here in the corner. Now, pardon my design skills here. But you can, whoopsie. Hold, please. Let me just go back out. Okay, so you can actually adjust the size of this, right? And then you can also, sorry, go up here to the pencil, and you can align the image, say you want it center, and then also aligned within the box itself. And so you can go ahead and do that using this tool. And then if you don't like what you've done, simply hit the trash can and it will delete. But for today, we're going to go ahead and use our 70s style disc icon to save it. Okay, and then I'm going to go back out and filter on brochure. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download it. And there is my logo there. Obviously not where we would want it placed. So I would just invite, and we can, you know, if you have ongoing questions about placement and that kind of thing, it should be very intuitive in how we design these materials as to where to put your logo. But if those questions come up, of course, we can provide support, but then you're just going to go ahead and click download. And it's going to go right to, you see my arrow up top here, it's going to go right to my downloads folder, and it will load, should load a screen in a second here for me to save or print. So that is really Magenta Studio on in a nutshell. I'll show you really quickly. If you want to filter on messaging, if you want to go to hire, for example, you can see all the beautiful materials that we've developed under the hire messaging umbrella. And I do think it's important, frankly, even if you go into this and say, you know, I really want to do LinkedIn, you know, maybe to consider Facebook, because we have support for that. We have a material that would allow you to post out there. So it's pretty exhaustive in what we're providing here for you as part of the program. So any questions I can answer, or Kristen, do you want to continue to use the Q&A functionality for me to answer any questions? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Sorry, I was muted. No, let's, no, I think from there, what we can do is just, I think we're probably coming close to the wrap up. We did have a couple questions that I wanted to answer for folks just in general.
Wonderful.
So is that all for your, okay, great. If you
That concludes, yes.
Perfect. Okay, super. And I think Katie, you have control. So there we go. So Katie, if you don't mind just going to the next slide. So before we wrap up, before y'all head off, you know, again, we've recorded this webinar and it will be not only on the FHCA website, but if you're a participating provider in the Caregivers Florida Career Program, you'll be able to access the recording there. And then if you're not, the next slide is going to show you how to sign up with our program. And again, you can do that by emailing me or emailing Jennifer or going to our website to the employer page, and we do have a sign up now form. But let me just give you a plug. So again, these materials that you saw, you know, some of them are geared more towards us marketing the program, but a lot of them are just Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram type pages, type ads, infographics that say, you know, now hiring for, you know, this, you know, most rewarding job. So they're very generic in the language that you can use for your own advertising purposes. So please let us help make it easy on you and use these ads. The other thing about this program is, so, you know, just this week, we, through our advertising campaign, you know, Jennifer just sent out over 500 potential CNA job seekers and 150 potential personal care attendant program applicants that she sent out to our providers. So, okay, so this is Jennifer emailing you saying, hey, here's a list of people that want to work. So we're making it easy and giving it to you as part of this program. It's free for you to sign up. Right now, we have almost 400 nursing homes that are signed up. So we would love to see all our member nursing homes signed up. 603, I think, are all now FHCA members. So if you're on this webinar and you're not sure if you're signed up, you can email Jennifer or me. Or if you are not signed up, you know you're not signed up and you want to sign up, I encourage you to do so by doing the same thing, emailing us. We'll make it easy for you. There's not a lot we ask of you really to participate. We ask you to take advantage of the free resources that we're giving you. You know, post on our website, tap into the job seekers. And then we do want a little bit of data. We want to know how many people are working with you, but we also give you a free employee satisfaction survey that you can deploy to your employees. We pull together all that data and we give that to you so you can use that to, you know, enhance your employee engagement or retention program. So look, we're trying to make it easy. We know it's hard, right? Everybody is having workforce challenges. We totally recognize that. But our goal with this grant is to help you with recruitment and retention in the most easiest way possible. So with that, I'm going to end my soapbox and thank you all for participating in the webinar. I want to thank the team at Moore for joining us. And again, the recording is going to be posted on the FHCA website. Be on the lookout. You'll be getting some emails from us with more information about signing up with Magenta Studios so you can get involved in doing this. And I do see one question. Let me see here. Okay, no, I think we got everyone covered. So with that, I want to thank you all, and I hope we will see every single one of you at annual conference in a few weeks in Orlando. It's going to be fun, to make sure to pack your 80s Miami Vice clothes. So it's going to be a great time. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.